It's Tuesday, Tuesday, April 19th, 2022, back in the studio live from Twitch. That's right, the Mostly Superheroes crew is going live when we bring you these episodes. Scotty Scoop, the Giggler, going back in the archive, talking about a film from 1998. We're not done with vampires quite yet. That's right, it's time for Blade, and this is Mostly Superheroes. Hello and welcome to Mostly Superheroes, a weekly pursuit for the world's best stories with an emphasis on live action superhero stuff. I'm your host Logan, back here again live, out to the sound waves, out there on Twitch. If you're watching, can you believe it? This is crazy. Giggler, how the hell are you?
I'm great, buddy. How are you?
Listen to me. I said it was August.
I mean, it didn't take long for the first air, but
it was the first words out of my mouth.
There was
an unforced error out of Logan.
There was no one on at that point to hear it, so it's okay.
We don't know. Scotty Scoop. Wait, are you saying there's no one in there yet?
Oh, we're up and in the thousands now.
Andy, yes, think about it. People listening from the future, when you look back at these early live episodes, we still have to pretend that there's a stadium of people just giving it up.
I have a feeling that the Twitch servers are under great strain right now as we speak.
And we're looking at it, right? Like you have it on your guys' phones. Like, is it happening? Is it live?
It's
we have
going.
a chat room. This is a brand new component that we have done once before on the show. And we said it from day one that we'd always want to have live shows. I mean, what is it? What makes radio great? The live component. We got the live studio phone that we want people to call into. And now we got live chat on Twitch. Scotty, you're a Twitch user. You know about this.
Yes.
We were talking about like the different platforms to try. What is about Twitch you think that's going to feel good for us?
Man, there's just a lot of people on Twitch just looking for something to watch.
Yeah, it's like a different kind of YouTube now.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of live stuff. And I think a lot of niche stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
I actually follow some podcasts on there. We're going to feature a podcast radio show that's on Twitch. They wrote in about Blade. We're going to feature that during the meet today.
Nice.
Andy, who is Blade to you, man?
Dude.
Was this like pulling one out that like, I feel like you and I'm wearing a Power Rangers sweater.
Yeah.
Scotty came in pumped about this thing. You got X-Men going.
X-Men.
But Blade to you.
I mean, I just was like, how did I watch this at 10 years old? I have no idea. But
I mean, that probably messed you up.
He's a bad mother effer, that's for sure.
Explains a lot.
Yeah, no kidding. I can't wait to get into it. A lot of vampires lately, a lot of Batmen. Here's another one, and I can't wait to talk about it. But we got some fans to feature. We are so pumped to be here in the studio. We are live. Scott, is there anyone you want to say hi to?
Tegan. I hope Tegan's watching.
And if they're not yet, they'll still hear it because guess what? Our episodes will still come out on Monday and Sunday on Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
So those shout-outs will still be there. Giggler, anyone you want to say hi to?
My dog TJ and my wife Stephanie.
In that order?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Signed, sealed, delivered.
Love
Let's
you
open up with, as we always do, the fan.
Fan mail.
Real special treat for fan mail today because we're featuring one of the show's oldest fans. Not like
90, 95.
God, right into it. Right as the words came out of my mouth, I saw Scott gearing up for that. No, this is one of the fans from day one, Shazib Malik. You can follow him on Instagram at the Shazib Malik. This guy was one of our first people to follow us on Instagram. Not only that, but kind of had a reputation for liking our posts 30 seconds, 1 minute into being posted.
The only person faster than me to like him usually.
And here we have it, the Giggler with a conversation with Shazib. Shazib says, disappointed but not surprised about Morbius. Love the breakdown from you guys. Thank you, man. He says, I've been good, my guy. Just waiting on Marvel to announce a Secret Wars movie. Also, need our 3 Spider-Men to return ASAP. Ahun6767, aka the Giggler, comes in and says, Secret Wars is my dream movie? Maybe Multiverse of Madness will make it happen eventually. Andy, is this true? Secret Wars, that's what you're waiting for.
That was the first comic that I went into when I got the Marvel Unlimited app, and I just kind of got obsessed with it, and I just wanted to see it in live action so bad, and it would look so great, and I think everyone would agree. Scott, what do you think?
I was gonna
say that's debut of Black Suit Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's a big introduction, and this is going to be like one of those crazy stories where it's like who's who. I mean,
just like multiple versions.
Be a guessing game of characters the whole time. Like, is this a real person?
Yeah.
Is this a real person?
We could see it could be anything. Multiple versions of a lot of different characters. Be wild.
Hell
maybe
yeah.
Multiple Blades.
Yeah, I mean,
throw Wesley Snipes in there.
I mean, I feel like you can get a version of every character at this point. I think you're right. Doctor Strange of Multiverse of Madness is the movie to do it. Shazib, it was great to hear from you, my friend. Thank you so much for continuing to support the pod and reach out. We'll keep featuring you just like that. And with that, we want to talk about our studio phone. Of course, we want to hear your voice at 754-CALL-LOG. That's 754-225-5564. Save it in your phone. As mostly superheroes, we do have a fan voicemail today from old family friend Aaron S. We've heard from him before. Let's hear from him again on Spider-Man No Way Home.
Hello again, this is Aaron. I'm not going to say my last name so you don't have to bleep it out. Currently watching Spider-Man No Way Home for the second time in a row. Literally it finished and I restarted it. Was going to ask this question on Facebook, but didn't want to blow that up too much. But honest question, do you believe that Ned is going to be working with either Wong or Doctor Strange in the future? Since at the end of the movie he realized that he was able to produce a portal and it kind of caught Doctor Strange by surprise. Not only that, but with the multiverses being tied together in some sort of way at this point, do you anticipate another movie that is going to feature not only one but all 3 of the Spider-Mans again? Sorry, tons of questions. Don't want to take up too much time, but definitely interested in talking more on this movie and what could possibly come of it since we have Sinister 6 coming up, I believe, hopefully end of this year, beginning of next year. But thank you guys again for all of your informative information and keeping us up to date. Sorry it took so long for me to get back on Spider-Man No Way Home, but could not go to the theaters. But definitely, thank you again.
All right, let's give it up for Aaron and Shazib.
Solid.
Pretty good fan mail today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, any excuse to talk about this movie. Spider-Man No Way Home exploded in December. I mean, we're now coming up on May. It's been a while, and there's some things that kind of lingered from the movie that we never really kind of get into real deep. First up, his question about Ned. I mean, he's got magic now.
Yeah, he's got the touch, magic touch.
His grandma apparently had magic in her.
Yeah.
He gets the sling ring. He's making portals. He's like an active role in the fight against the Spider-Man villains. Yeah, I think we're going to see more of this happen. He wears the cape and flies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they alluded to that. This like the whole movie, but also kind of did the parallels of like him kind of turning on Peter as well. So who knows?
I mean, yeah,
which
had talk
route that goes, or it could be both. Maybe
the other Spider-Man's friends and how they turned and died. You know, it's kind of foreshadowing for sure.
Yeah,
and I think we know for sure that in the comic books, Ned Leeds is a villain.
Oh my gosh. And he's got these powers now, so it's like sometimes I can just turn a person.
You know, as much as I would like to see some sort of Ned working with Doctor Strange or Wong.
Yeah.
I mean, those are Marvel characters, and we'll really have to see if into the future if Sony and Marvel can get it together and make something like that work.
Exactly, because I mean, we just talked about Morbius and the whole thing with the deals and Michael Keaton and Sony. Well, does Sony have some kind of deal with what's his name that plays Ned?
Yeah. I mean,
what's his name? You guys remember his name? Jake.
He's definitely Ned Leeds is a Sony character.
He's a Sony. That's a Sony property.
Right.
Do they have
Spider-Man is a Sony movie.
It's like, do they have a film deal with Ned for so many Spider-Man movies or just movies in general? Yeah, it's like, gosh, how much is it getting to rights? From a storytelling perspective, I think we're all here for it. I mean, Ned is a shining light in all those Spider-Man movies.
He's great.
True.
Next part of this was, we're going to see these Spider-Man again. Let's just get kind of quick to this. Multiverse of Madness is right around the corner here. And I mean, we're like 10 days?
Do it.
I mean, it's close. And there are rumors galore about Toby being in this thing, I've heard. I mean, I stay away from that stuff, but I do hear like you see the stuff.
You can't ignore it.
Not everything. And plus some of it's hilarious because I just want to get into it. Scotty, do you think we're seeing Toby, Andrew, even Tom in this movie coming up?
No.
Do you think we're going to see Toby ever again?
Yes.
When? How?
Yeah.
I think Sony realizes, especially after the huge drop that Morbius took into its I think third weekend or second weekend, it was historic, that maybe they might have to get one of these guys back to really make the dump truck back up to the door with the money.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think, Andy? We're going to see Toby in Multiverse of Madness?
I really hope we see all three of them in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I know you hope so, but is it actually going to happen? Like, if you're asking me, I'm saying no.
I'd say odds we see one of the three.
Yeah, because like if Toby's in there again, you'd almost be kind of like, he's here again?
Too soon, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know where they're going with the Spider-Man universe, with the villain verse, and what's the next Tom Holland movie going to be? Like, I don't know what route they're going to go here. So
the only chance I think we got is it's the same director. Multiverse of Madness. The three original Spider-Man.
Okay,
great point. It's the same director.
Yeah, Sam Raimi is texting Toby, and he's like, "What do you think?"
It's like, hey man,
he's like, "What?"
We'll have you walk through the background wearing a Spider-Man t-shirt,
or like, hey, make him like Doctor Strange's like assistant. I want to see him in the cape. All right, Aaron S. Hope you enjoyed a little highlight of Spider-Man: No Way Home, a movie that we'll always treasure and talk about a lot on this show. Shazib, appreciate you, man, as well. Let's get into the news.
News and rumors.
One piece of news today in MCU town. It finally happened out of comicbook.com. We got the link to this in today's show description. Thor, Love, and Thunder. The trailer is here. The poster is dropped. It's out there. Everyone's going crazy. We have finally seen a glimpse of this movie. The fans that have been begging for this trailer are pumped. It dropped just yesterday. Today's the 19th. And yesterday, just one day ago, it's out there. It's fresh. I haven't seen it. I'm not trying to be spoiler free about it by any means, but I haven't watched it. I don't plan on watching it. And I want to hear about what you guys think about it. So Scotty Scoop, what do you got on Thor, Love and Thunder? First of all, comments on the poster. Then number 2, comments on the trailer.
Comments on the poster. I love this poster. I love the just the simplicity. I love the look of the classic Thor logo. Screams 80s, and I think they, from the last Thor movie, I think they found their niche, and they're going full into it.
Okay,
and I love it.
You're into it.
Yes.
I mean, do you want to talk about anything specific in this trailer? We can get into specifics. I don't mind. If you guys want, for the fans that are like, spoiler alert for the trailer, if you don't want to hear about it, go ahead.
I mean, I don't want to ruin anything for you.
I saw some things from just like stills. All right, here we go. Fat Thor doing workout.
Fat Thor, slinging some chains.
Chris
working
Killian,
it out.
Chris Killian tweet.
Yeah. Giggler, what'd you think of the trailer?
Oh man, I love it. This poster, I need this printed. It's so colorful. It looks like
beautiful.
The 80s is perfect. It's like a He-Man.
It's gonna be in
type
here
feel. And I mean, this isn't spoiling anything from the trailer, but Sweet Child of Mine.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Wow, was that a spoiler without a spoiler?
I mean,
I know the song.
The trailer was set to Sweet Child.
And it kind of built up to it. And once it started playing, I was like, all right, I'm going. I'm in for this.
Oh, I can't. I saw some Thor flashbacks. I saw some you're getting some younger Thor mixed in. Yeah. And we're obviously going to get Natalie Portman in here coming in to take over, apparently, maybe Thor's powers. That's the kind of comic book lore, but how that happens and the story that we're about to see with Taika Waititi back on board, Chris Hemsworth here now in his 10th appearance of the character in the MCU.
It's It's getting up
yeah.
there.
I mean, this is a fourth movie. It's just crazy.
It's insane,
And-
and I can't wait. Thor Ragnarok, easily one of my top favorite. But you guys agree, the trailer, the poster, you guys here for this? Any problems that you see going into this?
Nothing. I mean, to be fair, this was a very thin teaser trailer.
Yes, it was a teaser.
You know, a minute and a half maybe.
Mhm.
And I think they're holding a lot of stuff super close until after Multiverse of Madness.
Yes. No villain. It was even shown in this,
No.
unless I missed anything.
We know who the villain is, but they did not show anything.
I mean, you're going to get the Guardians. You get some
Oh, yeah, for
glimpses
sure.
Of
We get
Star-Lord.
plenty of Star-Lord and the rest of the Guardians in this trailer.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Cannot wait for this film. July 8th. Mark your calendars. Thor: Love and Thunder. I mean, I cannot. It says it on the poster, the one and only, and it's really true. I mean, this is my favorite Avenger here. Chris Hemsworth's back. Let's go do it. All right, let's stay in the MCU and get into what we're watching.
What you watching?
I always love that what you watch. It's just clapping. It's like
What you watching?
that what you
Perfect.
watching. That's where we tell you what we're watching, what we're reading, what we're doing. And this week we are in the MCU, keeping it going. A brand new TV series is out there. We're on the 33rd title of the MCU. I mean, when I say 33rd title, this is my list, right? These are the numbers I come up with. This was the 33rd produced title from Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
Because the MCU now contains, it seems like, a lot of different movies, whether they belong to Sony or whatever else. But I just want you to know, when I talk about that number, I'm talking about Marvel Studios produces Moon Knight. 3 episodes out, 3 to go. They're on Disney+. I want to talk all about this show. We are actually sacrificing our own personal What You Watchins this week so that we could fit in 2 big superhero titles. Talking about MCU now, Moon Knight, we're going to save the meat. Sticking in the Marvel universe, though, really. Talking about Blade. Can't wait for it after the break. Let's get into this series right now. A little bit of background. This came out on March 30th, 2022. It's streaming on Disney+. Some filming locations. We're using IMDb. Budapest, Hungary, production company, obviously. Marvel Studios. Starring Oscar Isaac as Mark Spector, Ethan Hawke as Arthur Harrow, May Calmaway as Layla, El Fowley, I gave it a shot, and also F. Murray Abraham as Khonshu, the Egyptian god. So far, ratings are doing pretty well for Moon Knight. 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb, and once again, Google users just kind of seeming to like anything that's on the internet. 92%. It's always high.
Yeah.
It's always a high 90s.
I love the positivity, Google.
Hey, people on Google are just like, I like it. Why not? And a little bit about what this is. We're talking about Moon Knight. This show is about Stephen Grant, who discovers he's been granted the powers of an Egyptian moon god, but then finds out that these newly found powers can both be a blessing and a curse to his troubled life. Let's get into it right now. I want to hear from the guy that was most excited for this. Andy, I think you and I were kind of in the same boat. I was pretty pumped. I think you were more pumped than me. I think Scotty Scoop takes the win. I want to hear about you going into the series and how has the first 3 gone for you so far?
You know, I was so pumped for this show. And I sat down, turned it on, and I was immediately sucked in to this universe. I liked that it just immediately took you in.
Let's go and say spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for the
series.
show.
Yep.
And I think it really put you off and kind of made you feel for the character because he's lost and confused. And you're kind of lost and confused. Like, what is going on? You know, it's here, it's there. Things are happening. He's passing out. He's waking up. Who am I? What happened? How did I get here? Why am I surrounded by these people with guns? You know, what's going on? Man, this is quickly becoming my favorite show.
Wow. Oh, man. That's a good opening.
Wow.
Giggler, how has it gone for you so far?
I'm enjoying it for sure. Every episode I feel like gets better and better. I'm really excited to see what, I guess, tomorrow's episode for us. By the time this was released to the public, Well, we'll already be talking about almost the end of the show. I mean, we got
Yeah.
what, two left after tomorrow. I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
it's I love the longer episodes, especially for a show that like I need a lot to like tell me what's going on here and like introduce me to this character, and even this main character is multiple characters in itself. So it's a lot to handle, and definitely it's confused me at times for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But as it goes on, it definitely does a better job of like giving you the vibe of what's going on for sure.
Well, Andy, I'm right there with you. I think that what we're going to do today is we're going to help everybody out because there are a lot of questions. This is a show of questions. I'm right. I realized it from episode 1. This is everything: who, how, where, when. Like you don't know anything about this. Like they just drop you into this guy, like Scotty said, jumping around, and let's get right into the story and see if we can kind of navigate our way through what Moon Knight has been so far, answer some of the most glaring questions that I'm sure that fans have, and maybe folks like us that, parts of it were confusing. And I think Scotty Scoop will probably help us out on a lot of this because he's enjoying it quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So 3 episodes out. We don't have to go episode by any means. We can kind of jump around. But, first episode, we're meeting, again, his Andy, great point. Lots of characters. So Steven, what's his last name?
Stephen Grant.
This is who we meet. This is the
Yes.
guy who like everything's happening to, right? Like he's got this life. He works at a museum. He works at a gift shop. He's got a really great knowledge of Egyptian history and things, but he's blacking out. And why is he blacking out? Well, cut to, he's got another personality inside of him. This could be almost called just, classic personality, disorder where you have another person inside of you. His name is Mark Spector, and he's a mercenary. Not only that, but we find out that whenever he changes, he turns into this crazy killing machine. Into the first episode, man, perfect. Just that first look at Moon Knight, full on costume. Scotty Scoop, talking to me about what this look of Moon Knight and the transformation into this, hero, anti-hero. I don't even know what to call this guy yet. What do you see whenever you see that come on screen for the first time?
Man, I was floored of how good the costume looks. Very classic Moon Knight look. They tweaked it a little bit to make it look more mummy-ish.
Mm-hmm.
With the wrappings. Usually it's just like a straight white on white, and this one they made it a little off white and more strapping and stuff like that. I thought it was great. I like that it took the whole episode, and then just at the end you got that little, maybe 30-second glimpse of Moon Knight. And
The jackal's coming.
Yeah.
It's time for me to save you.
Chasing Steven around the museum, and you hear, or not even hear, but it's the mirrors that they use in the show that I think is a great tool where you can see him talk to himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he sees Mark like, just let me take over.
Yeah.
Let me take over. I can save us. It's going to kill you. You've got to let me take control of the body. And this is, as far as we know, the first time this has ever happened.
Yeah, to me, this is happening for the first time.
Right.
Like everybody's confused.
Yeah.
Mark's a little confused. Steven's a little confused. Like this is happening fresh.
And we drop in thinking that Steven
Yeah.
is the guy.
Right.
And then he starts talking to Mark, and he's hearing this voice in his head, saying this guy's an idiot, give him back the body. And you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, he's like, I'm stuck with the idiot again.
Yeah.
It's episode 1 where we get that crazy sequence of Mark in the other country, and we meet for the first time.
He wakes up in the other country.
Where we meet, which is like this isolated, like village type place. Help me with the story here, but this is where we meet Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Who plays... Wait, we can
Arthur
probably look at him
Harrow.
right here.
Arthur Harrow.
Yeah, Arthur Harrow.
And he's leading this group of people. They're guarding this apparently piece of Egyptian treasure.
Yes.
That's a compass.
Yeah, they're looking for their scarab.
It's a scarab.
Yes.
And with it, we don't really know yet, but we know that mercenary Mark was over there he got his hands on it.
Yeah.
And Ethan Hawke,
somehow.
Harrow's give it back.
Steven's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
And Steven then wakes up at his house and is like, that was definitely a dream.
Yeah.
Until, I think that was episode 2 probably.
Until he lost 3 days of his life.
Yeah, that was it, right? He had a date set up with a girl. Like, this
Yeah.
guy's a regular dude just trying to, like, go on a date. And
Like, he knows there's a problem.
2 days have gone by now.
He knows there's a problem. He's having to chain himself to the bed,
Yes.
but as far as he knows, it's just like a sleepwalking problem.
It's a goldfish problem.
Yeah.
It's the title of the episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
It's
his goldfish.
Oh, right, because it's
he
grown,
thought it was,
or it's got
it's like
with-
regenerated,
noticing.
or it's a different one.
the fin is different.
Yeah.
It only had one fin, but now it has two.
Right.
And he takes it back to the pet store. I mean, I understand. You know, I've had sleepwalking problem for years, and I saw that chained to the bed, and I thought about that.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to like manage it, but it's been happening long enough. By the time they drop us in, maybe a couple weeks or so.
Yeah. Sand around the bed, tape around the door frame.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
Yes, all the little tricks to make sure I didn't leave. We find out more about Mark Scepter. He's stashing stuff around the house, including a cell phone, where we find out about a character named Layla. Steven essentially gets his hands on this and meets Mark Scepter's wife.
Yeah. Married.
This is his wife.
Yeah. And she's like, she doesn't believe his spiel.
She doesn't even remotely believe him. She's
Yeah.
like, what is this accent?
She
Who is
has
Steven?
no idea who Steven is.
Right.
Which really puts us, the viewer, off.
Yes.
Because Steven was the guy we were introduced to.
Steven's the main guy.
And he's the only guy we know.
Yeah. To you're
You
like,
know?
he's the guy with the job and the life.
Right.
The normal guy.
The normal guy.
The guy that,
Right.
Yeah.
Mark's the guy that showed up. And then we learn more about Mark and his relationship with, what's that god's name again?
Khonshu.
Khonshu. Is this a character you're familiar with?
Yeah, it's the main guy.
Main Moon Knight villain.
No.
Well, I'm sorry.
He's where Moon Knight
he's where
gets
he comes
his
from.
power. Yeah.
That's like what Moon Knight is.
Yes.
is
Mark Spector is the fist of Khonshu.
the fist of Khonshu.
Yes.
So Khonshu is its own thing.
Yes.
And Mark apparently owes this guy some debt.
Yeah.
And he's working off a debt to, like, in a certain amount of time to be free of Khonshu. Also, we didn't say Ethan Hawke's character, Arthur Harrow, he tells Steven, I used to have the voices too.
Yep.
I used to have this whole thing.
I used to be the fist of Khonshu.
Yeah, definitely probably like upset that he's not anymore.
Yeah.
Apparently. Like, he's like, oh, look at this guy fumbling around. So we got 3 different entities taking over the same body. But, like, that's as far as I know. Like, we still don't know why. We still don't know when.
There's got to be more than 3, I bet.
Oh,
They're coming.
definitely more than 3.
Right. Like, there's 3 at the beginning. It's
Right.
got to be going to start.
Well,
jumping around.
there's 2.
Yeah, there's 2.
There's Mark and Steven. Mark, we saw, turns into Moon Knight, and Steven gets in a predicament and turns into a character called Mr. Knight.
And he's wearing, like, a suit.
He's like, they keep telling him, summon the suit.
Yeah, he's like,
Summon the suit.
Summon the suit.
Summon the suit. So he summons a suit.
And he's just wearing
And he's just wearing a suit.
So, like, he can become
Yes.
Moon Knight,
Like,
essentially.
it's the body that has the power
Yeah.
and not the personality
Yeah, the personality that's driving
that's
gets
driving.
to pick.
Gets to pick the outward
So-
appearance.
yeah,
So,
So
like,
that's-
for Mark Spector, he's like, I got this cape. And for
Right.
Steven, he's like, I got this suit.
Got the suit.
And, like,
Okay.
for Arthur Harrow, it may have been like, I got this big, tall outfit. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Who knows? Maybe we'll know.
And you're saying there's more on the way.
There is, if we move on to episode 3.
Let's talk about it. Get into it.
Yeah.
Talk me through episode 3, because this is a whole different kind of episode.
Yeah, episode 3, if I'm remembering correctly, we get some issues where Khonshu is saying, hey, we got a problem. They're kind of summoning a group of us
Yes.
gods,
Yeah.
and they're
Right.
kind of
There's a
gonna
meeting.
they're kind of gonna put us on trial.
Yeah. What is this?
Is
It's
what
like,
it seems
it's
like.
a group of, like, they're in a pyramid.
Yeah, so they show up at the end of episode 2. Mark wakes up in Egypt.
Right. Because the girl, he's like, his wife is like, where are we going? And he's like, where do you think?
Yeah, where do you think?
Like, this is Moon Knight. We're going to Egypt. Okay.
Yeah,
And they get this group of gods that, like, you can see they all have their own Egyptian god.
Yes.
And
many gods.
And how do they show this, right? Like, there's the people there, like, we're here to meet, we're their vessel. Oh, our eyes light up. Now you know that, like,
now
the
you know
god
that
is
the gods
talking.
have taken
Avatars. That's what
Yeah,
they call
They
them.
call them
avatars.
avatars.
I was like, that's
and
a whole
Steven
nother movie.
made the joke about
Yes.
the blue guys or
Oh,
the
yeah.
cartoon.
Yeah, he's like the blue guys? And yeah, we're on trial because he's like this misfit god.
Yeah.
And they don't like how he handles business.
No. And he really doesn't like the other gods.
Yeah, he's not a fan. He's
Because
just yelling at him.
They kind of left, and he said he's the one who stuck around
Yeah.
with the humans.
Mm-hmm. And like, he's out there, like, you're out there putting on this suit, showboating around,
Yeah.
saving people out in the open. Like, that's not what we do. We said a long time ago, we won't meddle. Like, this is very much like it sounded like Eternals.
Yes.
There's like a common thing between groups. We just won't do anything.
Yeah. Could be a new thread for the rest of this phase.
Yes.
A lot of gods showing up.
Yeah, from different
Well,
realms.
Yes.
There's a lot of them.
All right, what else happens in episode 3? They go through the
we-
trial.
We get some flashes where Mark wakes up. Some things have gone down, some violence, and he's looking in the mirror at Steven like, "What did you do?" And Steven's like, "I didn't do this."
Right.
And Mark's like, "Well, I didn't do this."
Okay.
So,
Oh man, see,
There we go.
I totally missed that.
yeah. There's
Did
some
you miss that?
I didn't really catch that at first. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
There's-
like, they're already like teasing this out.
they're talking to each other like something happened. I don't know what happened,
Yeah.
and you don't know what happened.
Okay.
Who knows what happened?
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
all right. Well,
this is
somebody else.
DID, dissociative identity disorder.
Hmm.
There's obviously another person
Yeah.
in this body.
Yeah. This
Here
is
we
like what's that '90s flick with about the girl, and she has the multi personality disorder. She's it feels like Memento, right? She's waking up in
Oh,
every
yeah.
different room. It's like, oh, days have now gone by. Somebody else was in control. Anyway, like, I'm hearing the echoes of like different style
Right.
stories. All right, what happens? What else goes down in 3? They meet with these folks. There's somebody else on the horizon that's maybe going to take over this body. What ends up happening with? Oh man, we have like a longer dialogue with Arthur Harrow.
Trying to snitch
Yeah.
on him.
Basically, yeah. I mean, like, he kind of like takes him into his house
Right.
with all of the people and
Shows them around.
shows him around, and he
And-
goes, "You don't have to listen to him."
Right.
He's like, he's gonna try to get you to do whatever, and if you don't do it, like, nothing changes.
Yeah. What is he gonna do?
And what have we seen him do? Right, we've seen him like trick Steven into like, giving over the mantle. Like, we don't
Right.
need this weakling. He likes Mark because Mark's like this tough mercenary.
Mark's the guy who does what he
He's
says.
the fist.
Yes.
Well, then who like? But when you have the body, like, you can still turn into like the suit.
To something else. And when he takes over as Mr. Knight and is starting to fight and realizes at some point, maybe I'm not as good as I should be to finish this fight. Then he lets Mark take back over and kind of finish the job
Yeah.
against the Jackal.
Yes, the jackal. Which I'm like, was that real?
Right.
Because it probably wasn't.
Who knows?
Because like, if it was real, like, was that jackal coming after somebody?
Because I think it was in episode 2
Uh-huh.
when
Looks at the
Steven is looking at the footage and
Right.
he's like, watch. And there's nothing.
nothing happening.
Is it all in his mind?
Well,
I
then,
think it's real. I think that just humans can't see it.
Yeah.
It's only gods or the
Because
avatars.
we
Right.
see in episode
because no one
3,
sees Khonshu.
we see in episode 3, there's another fight against the Jackal that Layla can't see the Jackal.
But it's,
And she's still getting
but
thrown
she's
and
getting,
tossed
but it
Yeah.
around.
throws her down. It
Right.
scratch. You're right. It's
she
totally
like threw
real.
like water on it or something. Yeah,
It's
Right.
totally
or
real.
something on it. Yeah, was it paint? No.
It was like on its head or
Yeah.
something, and it
Yeah.
was like, it was just barely you could see it. Okay, so this is probably happening then. Okay,
Right. You get some exposition from Arthur saying, you're broken.
Mm-hmm.
Did Khonshu choose you because you're broken, or did he break you?
Right.
And it seems like maybe Khonshu has chosen him because he's broken and easier to control. and I think maybe he might be too broken.
Yeah,
You know?
he's really fragile.
And maybe Steven has gotten to Mark, and that maybe Khonshu has created another personality.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's
to
like,
control.
did this start because these guys had personality disorders? Right, yeah.
Right.
Or is this because of what Khonshu's doing to this body? Like, there's only one God, so it kind of seems like the person has multiple personalities.
Right.
And, like, Ethan or Arthur Harrow doesn't seem like he has multiple personalities.
Right.
He seems like he's just this so far.
So far, yeah.
And then in episode 5, I'm sure will be like the tell-all.
Oh, yeah. It's usually around the end of episode 4
like the
and then
second-
episode 5.
Yeah. End of episode 4, maybe. There's going to be a tell-all.
Yeah.
Eventually. Like,
There's
probably
going to be
soon.
like, oh.
Yes. Oh, that's what was before
Right.
episode 1.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. Hey, we're catching on. We're
Yep.
paying attention. All right. And how'd the episode kind of come to a close? What are we looking at the end of this thing?
I do believe there was some sort of weird star shift.
Yes, this was
Is that what happened?
crazy.
Yeah.
We need to see this constellation because it'll help this program know something.
Something.
Like, it's going to help us know the next thing to do.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Well, one big problem, the stars were different 2,000 years ago. Great solution. One of my powers is spinning the sky into the past.
He remembers every night.
He remembers every night. Not only that, but like, hold on to your butts.
Right.
You ever remember that twisty stand-up ride at the carnival? You're basically on that, and it's going infinitely faster.
Right.
Gets it where it needs, but like, this also sets off red flags, right? There's gonna be ramifications of this. Khonshu says they're gonna know I did this. The
Yep.
gods are already mad at us. We had
Yep.
that trial earlier today. Not only that, but like, Harrow sees this, Ethan Hawke, and he like sees the sky spinning, so he's like aware of it. Everyone sees it,
Oh, yeah.
like the whole planet,
This is...
like
Yeah.
right, or just the town.
No, I mean...
I was confused.
I'm going to assume it's the entire planet. Everybody's going to wake up and go, what is going on?
Do you remember first that?
Like, remember when
Yeah.
that giant face came out of the sky and now the stars are spinning?
Like, I wasn't done
and-
talking about the snap.
Right. We were all snapped.
Yeah, I'm just gonna guess that
This Earth-
like nobody actually saw that. Maybe only it was like hypothetical. We were just seeing it on screen. I
No,
don't know.
those people were like,
Yeah. Yeah. I
Really?
mean, maybe it was only in the town,
I don't know.
but there were people obviously looking up at the sky like,
Okay,
and we missing any big ending there? That's what they see.
so
right?
he turns into. They turn Khonshu into stone.
Right. Yeah, there was like a big
And
climax here.
Basically, he's Mark Spector and Stephen Grant are powerless.
And Khonshu's stoned now. So they're
Yeah.
just people.
He's stoned.
He's stoned. He just got stoned. All right, that's episodes 1 through 3. Scotty, tell me what we, without spoiling, but like, what can fans look forward to in the next 3 episodes, you think?
we can look forward to at least one more personality.
Okay.
A couple more gods showing up, some more avatars.
Probably many more answers.
Oh, yes.
You're gonna see some
So many answers.
Amit resurrection, maybe.
I think we'll see that. I think we're gonna get a couple more characters that will exist in this universe
Mm-hmm.
in some other form.
Very cool. Andy, what are you most excited to see? How you feel like 3 down? We're good. You're excited for the last 3.
Yeah, for sure. Just give me what are these other personalities like? Like you said, we might have episodes that are like explaining them and stuff, but I think it'll add a lot of value to the character. I mean, Oscar Isaac is the best part of the show,
Yeah, he's great.
so
Yeah,
giving him
he's showing up.
more chances to show how good of an actor he is by portraying like 3-4
Multiple
different people. Like
characters.
maybe
This
he
is
could
great.
win awards for this if he
Yeah.
keeps that up and it
Maybe
the
an Oscar.
show. Yeah,
He's
Oh
already
my
got
God.
one.
Nice.
Oh my god, nice. Thank you.
You know what I want to see? Well, let's talk about this. MCU connections so far.
I think one of the only ones I've noticed so far is the god Bastet, who is a panther, which is where Black Panther gets his power.
Interesting. But like they have the meteor flower.
The flower, yeah, which could just be a vessel,
For that.
for communication to that god.
Interesting. MCU connections to come in the next 3 episodes.
Dude, I don't know. This seems.
I mean,
this seems like
this is where
it's
the hopes get high. Just
mostly
so you know.
out on its
Yeah.
own, but I know what his like clique is in comic book lore, or cliques, I guess, because there's
Yeah.
been multiple.
Like,
but
like people he runs with and like
You
runs
don't
into.
know.
I think they're really angling for a Dark Avengers kind of
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
So we may see Black Knight. We may see Blade.
It makes sense. That's the same
Um,
same kind of mystical,
Yes.
powerful
Right.
killers.
More street level.
Yes.
You know, a lot of these characters in the comic books have a line of more rated R comics,
Mhm.
and it's labeled Marvel Knights.
Mm.
So,
Like nighttime Marvel.
yes. And I definitely think by the end of the show, we will get some sort of tie to Werewolf by Night, which is supposed to be the Halloween one-shot show
Okay.
that we're going to get, hopefully this year.
Yes, you've talked about this one. That sounds amazing.
Yes.
As a Halloween lover, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Moon Knight. I think we're all here for it.
Yes.
I think that, if I'm giving the raw reaction so far, that like it's taken me a minute to get into it, but I think it's mostly just because it's a lot of mystery.
A lot of mystery.
So I think like as an MCU fan, you almost go into a lot of shows going like, I know kind of what to expect. This has been one where I'm like, none of these episodes are what I thought they'd be.
yeah.
This is a roller coaster ride. First of all,
Yeah.
let's go for the rest. We're at the top. Let's put our hands up and
strap
ride this
in.
coaster. Yep.
Strap
But I
in.
think we could say curiosity got you.
You think that's what it is? Yeah. Well, yeah. Obviously, right. Let's address the
You-
elephant in the room.
Let's do it.
I was like, I'm gonna stack and binge. I still did, but you guys know me.
Yeah.
I live in the middle of all choice.
Yes.
And as we're halfway through, Carrie looks at me and says, "How many episodes are there?" I said, "It's halfway." And she goes, "All right." And it was 7:00. I was like,
We could finish this by 10.
I was like, this would be like a movie.
Yeah.
It'd be like 2 movies. And I gotta say, pretty cool. And
Yeah.
I think like I think I'm taking this to heart because I don't mind binging in a day. Like you talk about a great day
Oh my god, yes.
to watch
Oh,
something
yeah.
from beginning to end. It's great. But like I also got to say, like breaking it up into chunks, I think I could see myself doing this with like The Boys
Yeah.
because it's going to be weekly. So it's like, maybe at that 4th one, it's great for the show too, because then we can come in here, do a mid break, and now we'll get to come back and like close out this Moon Knight finale already like knowing a lot more than we knew before.
Well, and that's what I like about like The Boys. They've got some more episodes.
Mm-hmm.
8, 9, 10, and they always do that season premiere 3-episode drop.
Yeah, that's great.
And you get it, you get back into the story, then maybe you bank a couple episodes. But like you said, it's like a movie.
Yeah.
These are full 45, 50-minute episodes. And that puts you right at the 2.5 hour mark for a nice 3-episode binge. And, really puts you in the mood, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I could almost see them like they should like think about this from a release standpoint. Like it'd be cool if you did like 3 chunks.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in for whatever.
I
No matter
think-
what.
Because for them, it's just about watching. They like spreading out the content, so we all watch it more.
Yes.
But like, if you just do it in 3, like you might give us a better experience, but you still get your like, your 6-week run.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
that's
yeah.
I
like
think
that.
Marvel's missing a thing here where they could do like a cinematic cut
Mm-hmm.
of these shows that they have.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, like cut out the credits.
Cut out the credits.
Because I mean, that's how I watched WandaVision and
You
Falcon
know,
Winter Soldier.
cut out-
Loki. I mean,
cut out some of the filler.
yeah, Loki's
and-
maybe my top 5 MCU movies.
Yeah.
When you
and
think of it
just
like that.
do a cinematic cut where people can sit down and they can spend 2.5 to 3 hours and they can get the whole story.
And put it in IMAX and enhanced.
There you go. Every one of them make $100 million.
Yeah,
I can guarantee it.
let's go. I mean, I'm in. I think that like what you're talking about is
Yeah, Kevin.
It's gonna happen.
Kevin, I can see you're watching live on Twitch.
Yeah.
Give me a call.
Anybody
work
can,
something
that's
out.
the thing about being live. We could be talking to anybody right now,
Yes.
changing the world. MCU, it gets the wheels turning. I love it. Moon Knight, Disney Plus, 3 down, 3 to go. We can't wait to talk about the rest. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. We're doing something new. You're going to hear from 2 podcasts right now, audio ads that we have met and received via our friends over at Audrey. So hold tight real quick, and we'll be right back.
Picture it. It's 2004. You just put on your orange Fanta-flavored lip smackers, zipped up your low-rise jeans, and are about to ask your mom for a ride to the movie theater to go watch a Cinderella story. I'm Mo.
And I'm Christina, and we are the hosts of Movies That Raised Us,
a late 90s and 2000s podcast that dives into your favorite nostalgic movies.
We're talking Princess Diaries, The Click, Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen.
We're sick of great movies being ripped to shreds by critics.
I firmly believe that Uptown Girls deserves more than a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And Jamie Lee Curtis deserved a Daytime Emmy for her Activia commercial.
We love movies that we can watch over and over again.
They make us laugh, make us want to travel the world, and make us grateful that we didn't have a coach dad a la Troy Bolton.
So join us for a virtual sleepover every Wednesday where we deep dive into montages,
unrealistic expectations,
chunky highlights,
role models,
and the movies that raised us.
Bank the Light, a podcast about the Wheel of Time show on Amazon. We also talk about the books.
I'm Justin, and I've been a fan of the Wheel of Time books since the 90s.
I'm Desmond, and I just jumped on board with the show.
Together, we make a great combination of the longtime fan
and the freshly initiated. Quickly tell them what makes the Wheel of Time so great.
15 books, quickly. Okay. There's monsters with no eyes. There's trolls that are gross and stinky. There's magic involved. I love these books so much. They were such a part of my childhood. They really shaped who I was as a person, so I don't know what else to say. Magic, pirates.
The Wheel of Time podcast is found wherever you listen to great podcasts.
The meat.
Welcome back from the break. This is Mostly Superheroes. I'm your host, Logan, back here in the studio, St. Louis, Missouri, live from Twitch. That's right, doing live episodes now. You could be featured in the episode. Join us live, get in the chat. We are monitoring it live from in here. We want to see what your thoughts are. And then you make it into our fully produced episode. Nothing changes. You're going to get those episodes on Monday, Sunday on Patreon. Watch us on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook. Listen everywhere you get podcasts. I think there's probably 50 plus podcast channels out there. You can bet your butt we're on all of them. Scotty Scoop, the Giggler, we're here, we're back, and let's just go ahead and get into the meat, the chunk, the sizzle. It's why you came, it's why you're here, it's why we're here, and we're talking about a movie from 1998. What were you doing in 1998? I wore one of my favorite sweaters today. I think this is probably a show I was watching at the time, the Power Rangers. I think Giggler and I were probably around 10 years old, and you said it. This was one that, I definitely was not allowed to watch.
Yeah.
As a child, I was sneaking this, and whenever I did see it, and I was like, okay, I'm watching this. I don't care what my parents say. Holy shit. Hard R Blade. Wesley Snipes is here debuting. This character on screen, a Marvel character, nonetheless, I think was introduced in comics in the early 70s, if I'm not mistaken, not to tread on Scotty Scoop's comic book knowledge.
I think you're pretty accurate.
And I'm going to talk all about this film. We'll talk about who made it and all that good stuff. Let's set up a little bit with us personally, who this is to us. I already kind of talked about, I had never even seen this movie before. We pulled this out of the archive. We're watching Moon Knight. We got stuff in the end credit scene of Eternals that I won't even get into that gets me just kind of feeling like I want to look at some old superhero stuff. Scotty's got a great point. We're going to watch a lot of stuff, I think, coming up. X-Men, Fantastic Four.
We got a huge backlog.
Time to get into the old stuff. Bring it back to the forefront, and that's why we're here. Blade. Scotty, set it up. Who's Blade to you? Who were you in 1998 whenever this movie's coming to theaters?
I don't know the exact. Do we have the date it dropped in theaters?
I don't have the exact date. Well, actually, you know what? I probably do. August 21st, 1998.
This is Scotty Scoop, just graduated high school.
Oh, man.
I was, just old enough to walk into the theater and buy my own ticket to see this movie.
Was this one of the first?
It's probably.
I'm going to go vote, and then I'm going to go see Blade.
Yes.
Got my cigarettes.
I'm a finely tuned athlete. I don't smoke.
And, doing the raw reaction, and this story is going to be one that we're going to have a lot of fun talking about. What was the experience like at the time seeing that in the theaters?
I remember seeing it, and it's 90s action flick.
Yeah.
Lots of blood and swords and cursing and Wesley Snipes in his heyday.
Just getting after it.
Just getting it.
Swinging that sword, doing
like
the dance
a pro.
moves.
And, you looked at him and you're like, that's Blade.
That's Blade.
That's Blade.
Instantly iconic.
Like if someone said, who's Blade? I'd be like, Wesley Snipes.
That's why he got a Trinity.
Like,
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah, you got a Trinity. You got 3 of these films. It's the first of the 3. We're definitely going to do all 3, obviously, listener, if you're thinking about it. Giggler, Blade, to you, how'd this watch go for you?
I mean, I really enjoyed this. I guess I probably got this from a Blockbuster, probably convinced my dad to let me watch it, maybe when I was in like 7th or 8th grade, probably.
It's fine.
Because it definitely came out when I was 10. There's no way I watched it. Like the opening 5 minutes, there's a guy, I guess, just getting to BJ. So there's no way that 10-year-old Andy would, I probably wouldn't even understand what was happening. So I was such an innocent young man.
You still are.
Yes, exactly.
I could tell.
But I mean, right now, Blade was like just me being excited for the new one. But I like this look back because I really, rewatching this movie, I had not seen this in like 20 years, like 15 years. I don't know, somewhere around there.
A long time.
Yeah. I guess we're old now, but
well, I gotta tell you, I don't think I ever saw this thing straight through. Never watched it from the beginning to end until 2 days ago. And man, I had a good time. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I gotta say, like the first 30 minutes of the movie might be my favorite parts of the whole movie. Like it's just so hardcore. Comes out swinging. Let's get into it. A little bit about the film. IMDb. I mean, these guys have been doing this a long time. And you get on their website, they've got it pretty organized in the way that you don't need to reinvent it. And they're going to be our source for movie stuff going forward. It's going to make it a lot easier. And looking at what they have, again, August 21st, 1998 is when it came out. Looks like it's was filmed in Vancouver, British Columbia, also Canada. Production companies are Amen Ra Films, Imaginary Forces, and Marvel Enterprises. The movie stars Wesley Snipes as Blade, Stephen Dorff as Deacon Frost, Chris Christopherson as Whistler, and M. Bush Wright as Karen. What a cast. These guys show up. So much fun. Let's get into the story. First of all, what do people think about this online? We talked about kind of how we felt about it so far, but the Rotten Tomatoes is at 57%, 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb. 89% of people like this movie on Google, and it's a 47% on Metacritic.
That's a lot of range.
What the hell is Metacritic?
All over the place. Metacritic is a congregation of reviews.
And it's got to be old a little bit because it's only on like certain movies that are certain age.
Yeah,
it's not like on a lot of newer stuff. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean it's basically Rotten Tomatoes, an older Rotten Tomatoes, I believe.
So according to IMDb, just a little quick synopsis: a half vampire, half mortal man becomes a protector of the mortal race while slaying. I can't see the end of that, but it says every vampire, evil vampires. Spoiler alert for the film right now. Going to get into the story, and man, this is a story that is all over the place, but man, this is a hard R.
Oh, for sure.
The opening scene is a woman in the 60s having a gruesome labor that is a baby that's just covered in red blood, and this is the first thing you see.
Yeah. Really throws you into the deep end there.
Disturbing. And
I lean over to Carrie. I go, I guess that's Blade. It's got to be Blade. That baby's got to be Blade.
Baby Blade.
Baby little Blade. Fast forward to the future. What had happened? I mean, Andy, you talk about the opening sequences.
What a sweet club.
You get this regular, you think this regular couple going to a club. It's just going to be a Saturday night out. We're hitting the town.
She's taking them in. Like, I know this place.
There's hooks on the ceiling because it's like a
some
butcher
sort of
shop.
Meat factory.
People are dancing. They're going crazy. And then all of a sudden, a little blood hits him on the hand. Oh, the sprinklers in the place come on. 1,000 people just covered in red blood, just
gore.
Dancing,
just raining from the ceiling,
just random sex acts happening around the place, like Andy said. And we find out quickly this guy that we see in the car is he's lost his gal. He's wandering around. The blood starts pouring. Oh, these are vampires.
Oh,
these are all vampires.
Yeah, you see them like up to the sky. Their mouths open. They got the fangs.
And it's not long.
You got the techno music.
It's going. And the DJ's going.
Quick shout out. The soundtrack to this movie.
Oh, really?
If you guys don't know. Fantastic.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't like writing them down, but I guess the music was pretty good.
It's like a techno.
Yes.
Like dance soundtrack. It's great.
I mean, very 90s action.
Yes. Oh,
like
yeah.
you said. And we get Blade right away. Here he is. Full outfit. This is probably what you saw in the trailer. He's here. He is here to mess up every vampire in here.
Yep.
And the most fashionable fight that you'll ever see every time.
Oh, yes.
Very choreographed.
Very choreographed. A lot of like jumping arms forward, swinging across the room. He's
Lots
got
of
the
cuts.
sword.
Yeah.
But
yes.
his weapons are just awesome.
Oh yeah,
So
he's got the sword. He's got the
silver spikes.
yes.
And he's throwing the
stakes.
silver spikes around, the stakes.
You know, he's got the like almost the batarang kind of flipping across the room and coming back.
Yeah.
Dude.
You get the he wasn't on the cast list on the screen, but you get like one of the first characters you meet is this guy that Blade burns up.
Yeah.
And he's in a lot of stuff. I can't think of like his name.
Oh my god.
And
yes.
he's in so many things. He's just like one of these like, white guy dads that's kind of like he's always in a lot of stuff, I swear.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, so Blade burns him up. This is Blade's thing.
You can tell he's come into contact with this guy before.
Yeah,
because he said,
yes.
"Why don't we try fire this time?"
Yes.
Sets him, staked him to the wall, sets him on fire, and walks away.
He's like, "What are you gonna do? Chop me up into pieces again?"
Right.
He's like, "No, we'll try something different."
Yeah.
And this is Blade's thing, ridding everyone of vampires. He's like, I just don't want evil vampires around. You don't really know much about Blade other than that. He's just this guy that wears this cool outfit and has these great
Vampire
tools.
hunter.
Vampire hunter.
Just Billy Badass.
Because I guess when the movie comes out, if you're not a Blade fan like
Right.
you from the comics,
This
don't
is-
really realize that was the thing, right? I remember that when I was a kid. You don't know that Blade's like a half vampire.
Right. Like this is the first, I think, comic book movie of its kind. Like there was nothing predating this.
Right.
Other than garbage.
Yeah.
You had like the old Spider-Man movie. You had the old Captain America movie.
Yeah.
You had the Fantastic Four movie that never got released.
Yeah.
And here we are in 1998. This is pre-X-Men.
Yeah.
And it's straight into a rated R with an obscure character.
Yeah. No holds bars.
Like
I always mess up that phrase, but I feel like
Bard.
Bard. Thanks.
This
It's
is
a wrestling term. I got you.
Oh, thank you.
This is a character that Wesley Snipes campaigned to play and create this movie.
I mean, I believe it.
Yes.
Like seeing him in it.
Right.
Like from the
Wesley
first,
Snipes was born to play
the first,
Blade.
Not just born to play it, but you could tell that he was probably telling everybody he was too.
Yes.
Like he was there and he shows every scene is like he is going at an 11.
Yes.
Which I love.
Dialed up.
Yes. All right. So story-wise, this guy that he burns ends up in a hospital. You get these two doctors. They're checking him out in the morgue. Oh, he's not dead. He's a vampire.
Like, I've got this blood sample,
and the guy's
from
like,
this body I got on my table.
Yeah.
You need to check it out. It's really weird.
Something's not right.
Something's not right. And this lady's like, what are you talking about? Like, you can tell there's some sort of chemistry between them, sort of connection.
Do you ever think about us?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the line he throws in there. You ever think about us? And she's like, oh, gosh.
Oh, my God.
On.
This again.
And right in the middle of it, vampire comes back to life, gets his neck. This doctor's dead immediately.
Tears it out. Immediately, every ounce of this guy's blood is on the floor.
And I'm like, that other doctor's surely gone. She's not. She's totally still standing there.
Yeah.
She gets bit.
Shocked,
Just shocked. Like, okay. Chasing her out the hallway. Bites her.
Yeah, bites her.
Gets her right away. Is about to be finished off.
Here comes Blade.
Here he comes in the hallway, coming down the hospital on round 2 for this burnt up, chiseled.
Finish the job.
Dude,
came back to finish the job.
Yeah.
How did he know?
That guy was disgusting.
Yeah,
like,
they did a good
burned
job.
up.
Yeah.
Like it just made me cringe. Like
Donald Logg. That's
Yes.
the guy's name.
Oh man,
he was in
great.
He was in Gotham.
He's in Gotham. He played the commissioner.
Yep.
Yes.
He's been in lots of
Harvey.
stuff.
Harvey. God, what a show. Me and Carrie were talking about rewatching that after this. That's exactly what we did.
Okay.
Okay, so she's like, I'm bitten.
Yeah.
This isn't good. He's like, God.
Yeah, what am I gonna do?
Guess I'll take you with me back to my home. All right, what's my home? This it's a bunker / garage, and I've got an old white friend, and his name
is Chris
Christopherson, the Whistler. not the Whistler,
Whistler.
his partner in crime.
Yes.
And a few things happen here at this first encounter. She's kind of like, sleeping it off. He's like, Whistler's like, she's good as dead. He sits down Blade, and she walks in on Blade getting given like some kind of serum.
Yeah.
Like they're putting something in his neck.
Yeah.
And they put it in, and it really takes a toll on him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This is an intense scene.
They've got him strapped down. He's really flexing,
and his face his eyes are just wide,
popping.
And I feel like it's not quite yet, but we get the Blade backstory pretty quickly at this garage.
Well,
but first of all right, go ahead.
She goes into, talking to Whistler.
Yes.
And he starts to kind of give the backstory.
Yes.
Because she's like, what is going on here?
Yes.
And he's like, oh, the kid, I found him on the streets.
And he was
drinking blood.
Eating homeless people. And Whistler's backstory is my family got held hostage by a vampire, and then they killed them all right in front of me.
Yeah.
So I took this guy in. We find out Blade was the baby at the beginning. This has been his life. He is a daywalker. He has the powers, some of the powers of a vampire, right? He's got the strength, agility. He doesn't age as much. He's got some fangs. But he doesn't have some things vampires have. He can walk in the daylight.
Yeah. None of their weaknesses, basically.
None of their weaknesses. The garlic doesn't bother him. He can touch the silver. But he is like this, he was born a vampire, but he's a half-breed.
Right.
Then we get this whole set of vampires. I mean, we're talking you've seen Twilight and the Council of Vamps.
Yeah,
we got it. We got
all of them.
Old time vamps. We've always been in the shadows, and what's his name doesn't like it. Deacon Frost.
Yeah, Stephen Dorff.
Vampire Illuminati.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, this is how we operate. We do things a certain way. We hide in the shadows, and Deacon Frost is like, you guys have been, one, you've been letting Blade just run amok.
Yeah.
Killing all of us. And two, we hide from the humans.
Yeah, they're our food.
It's like if you'd be hiding from cows.
Yeah, they're cattle.
Yes.
We eat them.
Yes.
You guys are the old guard. You need to get out of the way. Make room for the new breed.
And this sets a plan in motion from Deacon's side of I'm going to make this happen.
Yeah.
And basically that's what he's doing the whole movie. He's just trying to make this happen.
There's some old prophecies.
Yes.
Some
the chosen one,
the blood god,
and the blood god, and when the vampires come together in the right way, you could have the blood god.
The blood god, yeah.
All right, so what? Yeah, well, I mean, I think you can kind of breeze through that a little bit. What's he do? This guy ends up taking the oldest leader of the vampires out to some beach somewhere.
Yeah,
and brings his young vampire friends with him. And it's kind of like if the three of us just grab some elderly man,
yeah,
the mayor, and killed him
right
at the lake. He's like
we don't know you, and we want a new mayor,
and we're done.
Yeah.
And what do? They just put him in the light. The rest of them put on motorcycle helmets.
Yeah,
classic way of vampires avoiding
sunscreen and motorcycle outfits.
Yeah. Is sunscreen a real thing that they were using?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was actually sunscreen that they were putting on. This will do the trick.
SPF 1000.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You had to be a high SPF.
I need that for my Mexico trip in a couple weeks, please.
And I think this may have been one of the first times we get an exploding vampire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And this guy, I mean, these blow up vampires don't look the best.
This is a top 5.
This is definitely
of the movie.
1998 style.
But again, 1998, I don't know. I mean, Jurassic Park was 93.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just saying. I mean, there's a lot of things in this that look really great. For example, when Blade throws Karen out the window to avoid well, we can talk about that part.
Right.
The police officer that comes to her place, he uses her as bait.
Right.
And we meet what we call...
She sprays him in the face with some vampire mace.
Yes.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work because he's just a human.
He's just a human.
Yeah.
He's a familiar.
A familiar, yeah. He's got the little tattoo on the back of his head.
And Blade breaks it down, and it's the tattoo on his back is for Deacon Frost.
Deacon Frost, yeah. He belongs to Deacon Frost.
He sent this guy here to kill this girl.
So that's like their minions, basically.
Yeah, they're little run and do things, and the familiars are
Right.
always like, "I praise you, praise you." So anyway, back to Deacon Frost. He kills the elder. This guy explodes like out of his body. His spine just goes crazy, and he's out. And next up, we'll be rounding up the rest of the elders, and that'll take us like kind of toward the end of the movie on their end. In the meantime, Blade and Karen are working together on a few different things. Karen is, now that she has the download about Blade, she's a blood doctor.
Yeah, she's a hematologist.
And Whistler says maybe she can help us.
Yeah.
And
You know, you're dependent on the serum,
yes.
which, you know, how did these guys just invent a serum?
Well, and like serums just seem like in this movie, you're printing them. Like you're hitting a print button, you can have a new serum.
Boom.
Like, oh, this one didn't work exactly as I thought. So what's she doing? She's trying to make a cure for both her and Blade.
Yeah.
Like, I'll cure him, I'll cure me. First one doesn't go so well, but what's it do? Blows up vampires.
Yes.
Here, Blade, put them in your utility belt.
Yep. Your little repertoire.
We also get Blade and Karen on like a little information gathering thing where we meet the biggest, fattest, weirdest thing in the basement. That's also a vampire that looked like kind of like a mix of, it looked like not Kingpin, but a Legion villain. Mojo.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this Mojo?
Yeah.
And it's not, though. It's
he's
something
just,
else.
You know,
Jabba the Hutt.
in the chair.
Yeah, Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the butt.
Jabba the butt.
Shout out the
Catosaurus.
Catosaurus. Yeah, Katie Goodrich. That's a little plug for you there if you ever listen to this one. And this thing, I mean, she burns the hell out of it with that UV flashlight.
Yeah.
Like, kind of gets a little weird. Like, hey, I'll be right back.
Like hey, if he moves, burn him.
Burn him. Okay. And
Like-
she burns him all the way.
Yeah.
And to a crisp. And she goes, he moved.
He moved.
And I was like,
She's a little sadistic.
Because because he's a vampire?
Right.
Because she got bit by a vampire, so she has like a thing against vampires the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Because she got bit by the one.
Right.
I don't blame her.
No.
I hold a grudge too.
Yeah, but not against all people of, it's a little close-minded.
Yeah, that's true. But
One vampire bites you.
this one was
What,
clearly.
were you going to be mad at Blade too?
This one's clearly evil. So
Yeah, there was something going on. Blade and him had a relationship. They get the information.
download the data for his plan, basically.
Yeah. And the plan is, they get the plan,
He
right?
was
okay.
translating
you're
the
exactly right.
Bible verses.
There's a Bible from the from the vampires, the Vampire Bible.
Vampire Bible.
And this is where we hear about the prophecies. This is where, like, on this computer, on this hard drive, they download like the digital plans.
Yep.
It shows the tower. It shows like this diagram of like something happening in a tower, and this is where they need to go. Anything else?
We learned that Karen was not cured,
She's not cured. It didn't work.
so she's turning.
She's gonna turn.
She's gonna turn.
and that's happening actively.
It's
And the guys
inevitable.
And Whistler's like, "You'll be all right." And,
like, hey, my advice is if you turn before you turn, just end it yourself.
yes,
Yeah.
There's a part where like Blade and Karen are like in a bad spot. The vampires catch up to them, and they're all caving in, and it's kind of not looking good. And Whistler comes in and saves the day, shoots all these vampires to hell, helps out, but gets really messed up in the process.
Yeah.
And this is a real heavy part of the movie.
yeah,
I mean, this guy's
rough.
This is rough. I vaguely remember this as a young kid too, and I think I was the same as you, Andy. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be watching.
I should be
this.
watching
I know,
this.
man.
I'm 9.
Right.
But Whistler's not doing good, and basically Blade gives him the gun and
Right.
kills
But yeah,
himself.
he comes. But yeah, he comes back, and he sees that the Blade cave
Yeah.
has been torn to bits.
Yes.
And he looks over, and as the chair is the sheet on it, he pulls the sheet off, and there's Whistler. He looked dead.
He looked totally dead. His
He
face
looked
is
dead.
like beat in, but he's still breathing.
And
And he says something. He says some words to him.
yeah,
I don't remember exactly what he says.
go get him, Blade.
Yeah, like don't quit.
Yeah. Don't let him bring forth the blood god.
Yes, and make sure you stop him.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's time. Deacon Frost, lead vampire at this point now, since he killed the leader, gathers up like another 12 volunteers to go to this blood tower.
Full blood vampires.
Yeah.
Full blood.
Yeah.
That's right. This
Old,
is
like,
this
that's
is
what
a
they had to be.
Born vampires.
This is a big thing in the thing, like in the vampire rankings.
Prophecy or whatever.
It's
That's
like
what-
if you're a true blood, that's like the real thing. If you're
Right.
made a vampire, you're kind of like nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scum.
So he gets the pure bloods, he lines them up, and they're
They-
like hold them there against their will.
They and they capture Blade.
And then they capture
Yeah,
Blade.
they
That's
capture
right.
Blade. They get him with the little cattle prods,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They're electrocuting him.
Yeah. And
This
they get
and
him.
get him down and get him back, get him real bad. Like he
Yeah.
gets real weak.
Yeah.
He's running out of energy. He doesn't have his serum.
reeling off seeing his mother there.
And we find out that all along,
Little bit.
because what's Deacon do? He tells what's the actor's name? You said you finally remembered Orlando or something like that.
Donald Log.
Donald
Donald
Logue.
Log.
Yeah.
He tells him, he's like, bring Blade alive.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, what?
Yeah. Why would we do that?
We've been trying to kill this guy forever. Like,
Right.
how are we going to do this? And what do we find out? Well, Deacon's the one that bit Blade's mom.
Right.
Not only that, Blade's mom is
still alive.
totally alive, totally vampire. Looks the same,
Yeah.
smoking hot.
Right.
And they're like, and she's like on Deacon Frost's team, and she
Mhm.
doesn't care that like Blade's her son.
Nope. Not at all.
Why?
That's no. I mean, we can tell vampires no emotional connection.
Especially after maybe years.
30
Yeah.
30 years of being brainwashed. And who knows? Like obviously, like she was like
She was never a mother
in that
to this
bed,
child.
in that bed,
Right.
like the bed like closes and like she's always in there. It's
Oh,
almost like she's a
yeah.
prisoner.
Yeah, she was in that weird like sarcophagus bed.
Oh man, I gotta say, like the sets and the everything looks so good in this.
Yeah.
Like the vampire meeting room, the bed with that closes on itself, the city. Like what city are they in? Is it New York?
I don't
Again,
know.
I would imagine just
It is so weird
What's
how
up,
some
Blade's
of it
car.
some of it seems
yeah,
ahead of its
motorcycle.
time, but some of it's like WTF, that is an exploding vampire on fire that doesn't look at all even remotely real.
Oh, that
Right.
got rough when he's throwing around the serums and it's,
He hits
and they're
those
blowing
first two with the serum. Like I watched this with my 12-year-old daughter,
up. Wow.
and just not remembering what the movie was.
Sure, but she's 12. You let her choose. You're
Yeah,
with her to
you
answer
know.
questions.
Yeah, he hits those first two people with the serum, and they're expanding and getting bloody and exploding, and she was like, "Whoa, that was
Yeah.
crazy."
Yeah.
Yeah, like watching a movie like that as a kid today is like, what
Like,
was that?
Wow.
In like the actual collection of like Blade's blood, like in that machine, and it was just like like spraying out of his wrist and stuff.
Oh
like,
yeah,
that was like nasty, man. Like when I like your worst nightmare when you're like giving blood, that you're just your blood's gonna like
something's
go
gonna go
just
wrong.
flying
right?
out. Like it happened to one of my buddies at a blood drive. Like his
It
blood,
had too much.
his blood just like squirted out of his arm because the
Whoa.
nurse like it up. So,
Got it too good.
Hey,
yeah.
listen, don't let that discourage you. I've given blood for many
Yes.
years,
Same.
and it usually goes perfectly fine. I've never had a
Please,
mistake.
please give
true,
blood.
true.
According to the commercials, the banks are low,
Yes,
and it's not because Blade found them.
Morbius did.
Yeah, right. Okay, so he's down. Blade's not. He's like kind of down for the count here at the end. He's
Yeah, they
drained
get-
of energy. They,
they
beat
got
the
him.
hell out of
they
him.
put him in. They put him in this weird stone sarcophagus at the top of this tower.
Yeah, that like is fit to his perfect body.
Yeah, he fits right in there. The thing closes. It's got the blades that come down on his wrists,
Yeah, it's draining
and
him.
it's draining
like
him.
you said, Andy.
Like this is the thing that they need to spurn and create or bring forth the blood god.
yeah,
is
and
the
and,
Daywalker's blood.
and Whistler told Blade this was like a big, what the hell? But I
Right.
guess it's because he was the hybrid. Like he's the chosen one.
Right.
Your blood is the key. So like
Yeah.
that's why they're draining it and all
Yeah.
that. Since he's drained of his blood, everything's going down.
It's coming down that big globe,
yes.
and it's working its way down through all these glyphs.
Yep.
Down to the original vampires. It's drip. They hold them up. It's dripping on their foreheads,
Yeah.
and something happens. They start like drying up and
Yes.
breaking apart, and then you see the super horrifying scene of these winged bat skeletons breaking out
Of the body.
of the bodies
Oh my god.
and flying around
like winged
It's like,
skeletons.
yeah,
What'd your daughter think of that?
just
Awesome.
loved it.
Yeah, probably one of her favorite parts.
Yes,
'Cause I think it was one of mine.
yeah.
I was like, this is pretty cool.
1998 looked great.
Yeah, 1998, you're going, they're making movies now.
Yeah. Like, I can't believe they're doing this.
What are they gonna do next?
Right.
And then he becomes the blood god.
Yeah.
And guess what he looks like?
They're
exactly what you think.
Yeah.
Just completely bloody.
Yeah. The skeletons are flying around. They're diving in him. They're diving out. They're going through him. And then if they all go in, and he's got the blood eyes and
blood body.
And
Blade's still just like, I'm drained.
Yeah. Like, Karen.
This is it.
Gets him out of the sarcophagus.
Gets him out. Breaks
him
him out.
And
says,
she had to fight her old lover as a zombie. That was weird.
Yeah.
The doctor.
Yeah, and he goes, he said the same line. He's a zombie.
Yeah. Do you ever think about
us? She's meeting up with what a crazy plot twist to throw in there.
Right.
Like, they happened to keep the one doctor that was randomly attacked.
Right.
Yeah, they even said something about how they reject being a vampire.
He turned into some sort of weird zombie creature.
Yeah. So
maybe that'll be an offhanded comment.
I bet it'll be relevant in the future movies.
You think so? I bet we never see him again.
I have no,
never.
Not him, but I mean the fact of them turning it there could be zombie vampire things. I don't know.
Oh yeah, some sort of different creature.
Karen gets away from the creature. She says, classic trope here. Just like Morbius,
Yeah, feed on me.
Eat me.
I'll be your strength.
But just a little.
Yeah.
And he was sucking her blood, but it was sexual.
Oh yeah, for sure.
She's like,
it's Wesley Snipes.
It's like moaning, he's moaning.
Yeah.
And it's like flashing to her and then to the blood god. And I'm like, man, I'm starting to sweat.
You can tell like he's really into it.
He's so into it. And he's like, I've never do this.
He
I
may
can't
not
drink
be
human
able
blood.
to stop.
He might. I'm going to suck her dry.
Yeah.
This is right out of Twilight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he doesn't, I guess.
I guess not.
And he gets jacked up.
Oh yeah.
Like he becomes the most Blade he's ever been.
Oh,
and now it's
for
time
sure.
to fight. Like the craziest fight, the fight scenes, the spin moves,
Like
the
he
sword.
Jumps from the top, does the superhero landing.
He looks crazy.
He's
jacked.
Badass dude. Wesley Snipes.
And gets the blood god, starts chopping him up to keep the guys growing back. It's
He's got his sword, he's chopping him in half. And he's chopped his arm off, and you see it kind of flies away, and the blood grabs it back and sucks it back in, and you're like, oh no, what's Blade gonna do? That's his thing. That was his thing. He was gonna cut him up.
And there's one more thing we could try.
He's got
serum.
The serum.
So he was trying to trick him into taking it himself, right? Because Blade was saying
when they first captured him, he's like, "Is this your serum that
you don't
keeps you
take
alive?"
You don't want to take it, do you?
Why don't you try it? Find out.
Yeah, give it a go.
Yeah,
but it doesn't work.
And you're like, oh man, this could really be the thing Blade needs.
Instead, I'll throw them at you.
And that's what he does. He throws them at people, and then he throws it into the mouth.
He found the thing was up in the on the wall, and he took his sword and he threw it at it.
Oh my god!
And it stuck in the thing, and he had the little timer with the blades.
And the booby trap.
Yeah, the booby trap
takes off hands.
Pop. And Wesley Snipes did this little spin thing, caught it behind his back.
That catches it behind his back.
Right. And then just starts throwing him.
Yeah.
But he saves one.
Right.
So he can throw it up in the air and then kick it at him.
Then he kicks
if I remember
boom,
correctly.
Boom, boom, all over. And then, the little spin kick, boom, right in the forehead.
And this is it.
And you see the super gruesome blood god explosion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just goo blopping, going everywhere. And the blood god, that's it.
Yeah.
Blade wins.
Blade.
And Blade's like, I love killing vampires. Karen, we're still around.
Yep.
Make me a better serum.
Come on.
More.
Why don't you go and make me a better serum?
Or what motherfuckers always trying to skate uphill.
Oh, skate uphill. Hey, I was watching, shout out to Looper. I was watching some recap videos today, just getting ready for the episode. And one of them was they were like, one of the most infamous lines from the movie. This one, the skate uphill, that was improv. And I'm like, no shit.
Of course it was.
I'm like, yeah, that's not a line.
Right. They were like, Wesley, I don't think put it in.
I mean, you could tell.
Yeah.
He had a lot. I wonder how
This
many
was
takes.
his movie.
This was it. So he tells her to like make me a serum. She turns down the serum that could potentially cure him.
He's like, I got more work to do.
He's like, I need the skills
Yes.
to go out and keep killing evil vamps.
Yes,
I'm
for
not
sure.
finished. So much so that we get a teaser at the end of this. Russia? He's in like Russia? He's in some other country, and like he's like, I've found more vamps.
Yep.
Can we send him there now? Please.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We need you, Wesley.
Wesley, please.
Yeah, just Wesley.
Yeah.
That's a good point. There's anything else? That's the story, right?
That's it. That's Blade.
1998. All right. Now you talked about it. You saw it fresh. What do you think of this movie now?
Great. I think it holds up.
You think is it as good?
It is. It is so much fun.
It might be more fun now, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
to just disconnect. You don't have to worry about this character or this character. Where's the threads? What am I looking for?
Yeah.
Are there post-credit scenes? What do I got to look for threads here?
Don't need
You're just
anything.
like, boom, 90s action flick. Love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I got to say, the middle of it dragged a little.
Fair.
And it felt like a little bit. But like overall, I was happy. I was very happy. I thought this thing looked crazy. I thought, man, not just for the time, but this is a bold movie. This is a hard R. You never get rated R superhero content. Like it's a big deal nowadays. Like Deadpool is still like this, like breaking the mold type thing. And Blade, man, 98. They were like, we don't care.
Right.
We'll show this bloody vampire killing machine blowjob nightclub in the first 10 minutes.
Yep. I mean, this is 90s Marvel where I think they had just been on the verge of bankruptcy and they were looking for cash.
Yeah.
They have sold off a lot of their character property rights at this point.
What we got left.
And they were like, well, what can we do?
And whose idea was it? Like, was it Wesley's idea?
This is something that Wesley campaigned on. Like, I want to be this character.
Yeah.
Along with, he also wanted to be Black Panther.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So, I mean,
well, you got to be one or the other.
Yeah. And
I mean, in a cinematic universe.
This is the thing that got picked up, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah, super happy about it.
I don't know that it made money. I mean, it had to make money.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I didn't pull up
because they made three
it's
of
something
them.
I don't think about as much with the older movies, but like I wonder if the budget's on here from IMDb. That's one thing that might be missing that I need to pull in here. Maybe one of you guys can pull up on your phone just real quick, budget box office, because I am curious. 98 too. It'd be kind of interesting to see, at that point, what was a good box office in 1998.
Right, I got it.
Yeah,
what you got, Andy?
Per Wikipedia, budget 45 milli.
Okay.
Box office 131.
Oh, that's a win.
Oh, it killed.
Oh, for sure.
It did just fine.
You double your budget.
Well, guess what?
You're making 2 more movies.
You got Blade 2. You got Blade Trinity.
Yeah. For
before,
sure.
I can't wait to talk about. We're going to talk about a little setup for those. Giggler, what'd you think about this movie? I know you had a good time. You said you did. After you talk about it, I want to hear your final thoughts on a rating, and we'll get your rating too.
Yeah, I totally agree on the holding up part. I have very different priorities as a older 34-year-old man than I did as a 10 to 14-year-old watching this movie. But 100%, like just like the weapons, like the unique approach that they took to a lot of those things. I really think the opening scene really drew you in. Like, I totally agree. It was kind of slow in the middle, but also the end, even though it was kind of corny with looking with the bat skeletons flying out of the people. I mean, it was still I still was like, this is awesome. Like, I'm so happy I watched this movie, even during all that cheesy moments like that.
Yeah.
So, but I'll think for overall rating, 3.1.
Wow, that's pretty good. I'll give you a round of applause for that.
There's a lot of things I appreciated about this movie that I didn't expect to. With the rewatch, I thought it was just going to be a blah. But now I didn't expect to be super pumped to turn on Blade 2. But I'm like, when are we going to watch it? I want to watch it now.
Just do it immediately. Maybe it's better just to go 1, 2, 3. All right, what's your rating, Scotty? And any final thoughts?
Man, I love this movie. I love Wesley Snipes. It was, you haven't seen a lot from him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Time.
Yeah.
He had that tax issue where I think he went to jail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or
I feel like we're gonna
at
talk
least
about
was
this
on a hiatus of some
Mhm.
sort. But man, yeah, this really brought me back. 3.3,
Damn. Yeah. Okay.
and then I've
You
got
too.
a special rating.
You have a special rating.
A special rating
Let's hear it.
from
Let's
Lila.
Okay.
3.8.
Whoa!
Yes.
Blowing the minds of
Not as good as
12-year-olds everywhere.
Yeah.
No, not as good.
Not as good as Morbius.
Right.
The
But pretty
vampire
close.
ranking is
But-
pretty clear.
Enough to when the credits were rolling, she was like, "So, Blade 2?"
Yeah. Like really enjoyed it.
Like really enjoyed it, and we've already watched Blade 2.
Well,
I've got
there's
that one on deck.
I'll tell you what, there's no doubt in my mind that you listen to you guys hearing Lila's rating, it gets me more jazzed.
Yeah.
Like it's contagious. Gotta keep it in check. Think about my real experience. It was so fun. And
Yeah.
like it really was like I was grabbed from the beginning. The ending with the graphics getting a little wild, like it's kind of hard not to kind of go like, what the hell? But overall, man, just like a dark, gritty character that's like no one loves a character more than they are just who they are.
Yep.
And Blade like lives and breathes that.
Yeah, like you
I-
didn't need a lot of backstory.
You like none really.
You just
like, here
look
he's
at the
born,
guy.
and now here's him in the suit.
Right.
And I really like that, and like totally different from Morbius of like, kid in an orphanage and like a Nobel Peace Prize scientist.
Right.
This is like, who's this lady being born in this crazy thing, and now this guy's in a black suit killing vampires.
Yep. Slaughtering.
2.9. I can't wait for Blade 2. Really pumped for Blade Trinity. I mean, Ryan Reynolds with the goatee, and I mean, I haven't even seen those.
Triple H
you're
is in one of them, right?
Triple H is in Blade Trinity.
Okay, I remember this.
And Ryan Reynolds played that character because he didn't think he was going to ever get to play Deadpool.
He was like, "This is it. This is how I get into the Marvel universe."
When you watch Blade Trinity, you will be like, "Oh, that's Deadpool."
Yeah, it's the same.
I recall
And to
thinking
be
the
fair,
same
character-
Deadpool is like Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
kind of.
Yes.
So, and Ryan Reynolds' characters are kind of
Right.
Ryan Reynolds. A little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. Good point.
No offense though, because like I love everything. So
Yeah, for sure.
All right, you guys heard what we thought, man. Love getting the reviews in here, and we got to shout out some people online. This is another old friend of mine, Chris V. He's C. Vandiver on Instagram. Chris, hope you've been well, man. He wrote into us on Instagram. He said, you might be able to get 3 podcasts out of talking about just how shitty Wesley Snipes was during the filming of Blade 3. Maybe even a spin-off show on his tax fraud, LOL. What's crazy is Patton Oswalt and Ryan Reynolds are both in it, and they couldn't even save it. Read up on the production problems. You won't be disappointed. Holy cow, I cannot wait. That'll be in our Blade Trinity episode.
Yes.
Is this sounding familiar to you?
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows Wesley Snipes he's a diva.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know this.
Oh,
so we're
he's-
gonna learn together as a
Yeah.
group. You might help us tell. Chris seems to know about it. You know
yeah,
about it.
We can dig up some of those facts when we do that show.
Well, because like you get to start thinking about this character, and now you have the new actor that's playing Blade. You guys remember?
Mahershala Ali.
And like, man, it's like you kind of wonder like, what is Wesley Snipes up to right now? Like,
Right.
Like, what's he doing?
Maybe we'll find out in a couple of weeks.
Maybe we'll find out. Yeah, exactly. Chris, thank you for that. And also a very special shout out from Nick Steele. This guy, he's Nerd Nick on Instagram. He's also the host of a show called NK Mornings on Twitch. So if you're on Twitch right now, go follow him right this second. And he hosts NK Mornings is a show that he does with his wife, Kristen. They're full-time podcasters, radio stars. He also works at 99.5 The Wolf in Portland. This is what he had to say. 3.1 in 1998 standards. I thought it was a fun, kick-ass action movie that still made me laugh. A lot like today's Marvel movies. But to be fair, I haven't seen it in 20 years. I do remember the final graphics looking like a bad version of the Fruit of the Loom grapes.
Yep. When the blood god is exploding.
Yes,
For sure.
absolutely.
Wow.
Nick, Chris.
That's
Accurate.
a great reference. Fruit of the Loom grapes.
I mean,
Yep.
I can just, as soon as you say that, I just see the commercials and they're all just
Yeah, they're
dancing, just dancing back and forth. Great
Wow.
thoughts. Appreciate the rating. I love it when people are coming in and using the scale. I love seeing that 3.1. Obviously, a movie that Nick had a good time with. Chris is our age, so this obviously made an impact when he was a young kid. You can tell this is one that crosses the generations, and we can't wait for Blade 2. So I guess that'll be we'll talk about that one maybe next in between maybe we'll just see when. But you guys down to watch these one at a time?
We'll get to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Blade 1998. Go watch it. Oh, how do we watch this thing?
Netflix.
It's on Netflix. All three.
All three on Netflix.
Get them while you can.
Yep.
Let's talk about what's coming up. That was cool. That was real cool.
Good job.
Yes, we did.
That was real fun.
Good job, guys.
I mean, what a random ass movie to pull out. We said we wanted to watch some old stuff. I think Blade was a good one, and we got plenty more to do.
Oh, there's so many.
But there's so many also new things coming to where we can't even hardly breathe. There's so much new things coming.
It is overwhelming.
So much that I had to make like a vision board of movie posters because like I was like, I'm making a slide for all these. If you look up here, here's some stuff coming up. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I mean, what are we, guys? I mean, it's really like less than 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
We got tickets. We're going on Tuesday, May 11th.
10th, I think.
10th, and we'll record on the 11th.
Yes.
And we'll talk all about it. Scotty, you might be there for that one. You'll probably see it before us,
I will absolutely see it before then. I don't know that I can wait any longer than Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
To see it.
I'm real butthurt that even if I'm going to be on vacation in Mexico, like I want to see this.
What is this?
Right
Classic
away.
Andy.
Right
it's
away.
Always leaving town.
During movie premiere.
I'm going to be like,
premiere.
What do you think is happening with your scheduling?
I don't know.
What is going
I'm gonna
on?
Call the resort and be like,
I'm going to have to push this off.
I'm going to either have Kevin Feige delay this movie one more week.
Right, which could happen.
Or they need to have a private screening for me.
Yeah, Kevin, I know you're watching. Just send us a screener.
Yeah.
That's it.
We just need a screener.
I feel like subconsciously Andy is like on the calendar for the year and he's like, these dates feel really good for some reason. I don't know why, but these feel like good dates. And then you pick them for vacation and you're like, shit, those were all the movies I was going to see.
Every single one.
I know.
It's all right. We're not making fun of you. I mean, you're going to Mexico. I
know.
mean,
I'll be fine.
Usually, I think you'll be fine. Other than that, I mean, no question. The hype around Thor: Love and Thunder is real, and it's on July 8th. So it's just a couple months, man. Summer of movies, so much more happening. We added some new posters in here that we didn't have in last week. The Mandalorian season 3 could potentially be happening by the end of the year. Jurassic World Dominion is right around the corner. We got 3 episodes left of Moon Knight, and then Miss Marvel's coming in June. So we got some stuff right on the horizon. Plenty of new stuff always. Obi-Wan in June.
Next month.
May 27th.
May 30th.
What? It was pushed again?
I think that was the day.
I thought it was May 25th, and then it got pushed.
It's May. Whatever it is.
Hey, it's end of May.
End of May.
Plenty of stuff happening, and we got old titles that'll be coming up as well. A couple more Blade movies. We are talking about bringing out some of the Fox stuff before it was Disney. X-Men,
Fantastic Four.
I almost said Fast and Furious. Fantastic Four. All of them.
All three.
All three.
Yeah.
And yeah, guys, new episodes out there on Sunday, on Patreon, Monday, where you get your podcast and watch us. And this was our first really full top to bottom in-person live show. And I just got to say, so much fun. I mean, how'd we do? I mean, how was the listenership on Twitch? Did we have people in the chat? I think we had like maybe a max of like 7 or 8 people in there.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Yeah, it looked like we got some randos in there.
That's how it goes the first
thanks
time.
to them.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll come back for more. Maybe they won't.
We'll get a good word of mouth going.
But yeah.
And I think the more we do it, maybe the Twitch algorithm will pick up on it. We'll get some more people in here. We want to feature live chat, studio. Giggler, I'm going to turn it over to you. What was your favorite thing about Blade today?
Just Blade just being a badass every 30 minutes. Like they're just a scene spread out every 30 minutes of the movie where I was just like, I just want to see nothing but this guy just fighting vampires for like the whole entire movie.
You almost
Nothing
get your
else.
wish. It is like mostly him,
Yeah.
like in action, not a ton
sure.
of dialogue, mostly like fight scenes.
And I just want more of it. So, and we're gonna get it because good call on picking this out. It was the most random thing when you texted about Blade over the weekend. I was like,
yeah,
but I couldn't wait to turn it on, and it didn't disappoint at all.
Yeah, I'm glad. Any excuse to get in here with you two is good with me. Scott, why don't you do this? Give us a teaser of like maybe one thing you're really excited about seeing and talking about in Blade 2.
Blade 2. We get an unexpected character return.
Oh, someone that you might not realize. I already know who it is then.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I feel like I do, but we'll see.
And I want to talk real quick. Chris Christopherson is fantastic.
So great.
So fantastic.
I thought about it. I was like, I want him in, like, he played that role so well, and I feel like you could
Yes.
plot him into like any superhero, any movie. Like, he just has this demeanor about him, this like his voice, the grittiness, the like he knows everything.
You know, and I don't know how much you guys know about Chris Christopherson. Storied career.
Yeah.
Gold Glove boxer.
Oh no.
Army captain.
Oh wow.
A Rhodes Scholar.
This is all things that he's really
Yeah, studied at Oxford.
just a Renaissance man.
He was a one of the he was in The Highwaymen with Johnny Cash. Like singer, songwriter.
Yeah,
like,
I think
this guy is like amazing.
you could see him just picking a guitar, just singing.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, maybe we hopefully one day we'll see him again soon.
Yeah, maybe he'll come back.
Dude looks like he could play Santa Claus too after what he looks like in this movie.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's like, back off. That's my
Yeah.
thing.
I thought he was Kurt Russell at first. I'm not even kidding.
I mean, that's why I said it. They definitely look similar.
Yes.
All right, listener, watcher, thank you for showing up for Mostly Superheroes. We got a lot happening, and we're having a lot of fun. We're here to talk about the stories, the lessons we learn, and to have, most of all, a good-ass time. We hope you come back and join us on Twitch. These live shows are not going anywhere, but you'll still always get our podcast in those podcast apps and wherever you're watching us. Right into the show at mostlysuperheroes.com. We're updating that website constantly for you guys just to make it easy to use. You send that link to your friends. Tell them about the next hit TV and film podcast that's taken off this year, because 2022 is our biggest year yet. Season 3 is firing up. We can't wait to see you next time. More events, more music. We're going to be giving back, and we're going to be talking about stories. We'll see you next time on Mostly Superheroes. Take it easy.